Evelyn Jerome Alexander. I'm the owner of Magellan College Counseling, and I've invited my colleague, Michelle Silbernagel, to chat with me for a few minutes today, just to help you understand what she's like and how she arrived at college counseling and give you a feel for what it might be like to work with her. So Michelle is up in Sammamish, which is near Seattle. And thanks for chatting with me today, Michelle. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you became a college counselor, or how you came to college counseling?
Great. Well, thanks for having me today to share a little bit about my story. So I came to college counseling through some writing that I was doing. I was involved in a lot of writing in my area, and I kind of came to be known as the person that could help other people with their writing. And so parents and students reached out to me to help with the college essay. And I was very quickly learning that you can't really do one part of the application without understanding the entire application. So the essay is the student's opportunity to share a little bit about themselves, that part that is not already shown in the rest of their application. And if I didn't know what that was, I wouldn't really be able to help them to the best of my ability. And then that kind of extended to the entire process of college admissions. I thought, well, I need to actually understand how admissions work. And so I started doing some research on my own, and I quickly realized that this is a really big field, and it can't be something that is done just on spur of the moment. In order to be done well, I am the sort of person that really dives in deep. I like depth, I like breadth, I like to understand. So that led me to taking a course through the University of California, Irvine. They have an independent educational consulting certificate program. And I thought, oh, I'll just take one course. And the next thing I knew, I just fell in love with the entire process, with the sort of people that work in the industry, because everyone is just so collaborative and they just love to help students. So that led to my completing the program, and I've been working with students ever since. And I love not just the essay process, but digging into all components of college admissions and helping students find their path and learning what is the best fit for them.
Love that, love that. So your journey is so interesting, because I know a lot of people think that they want to hire someone just to work with their kids on the essays, but it sounds like you take a much more global view of how to help students through the entire process.
I do. And, even if people do reach out to me just for the essay, one of the very first things I say is, okay, well, do this exercise where you tell me about all the other parts of your application, and then answer the question what else would you like the colleges to know about you? Right. And then eventually, it often does turn out that this little piece of work that was just supposed to be helping them with determining a good essay for the personal statement, it extends beyond that, because we learn more about each other. I develop a rapport with them, and I learn quickly that maybe they hadn't considered all elements of their college journey, and there might be other aspects to other colleges that they might like to consider and include on that list. Right. I don't know if I answered your question, but
no, you totally did, and it's what you touched on at the end that honestly is my favorite part, which is actually helping them build their list. And to me, you can write essays until you're blue in the face, but if you're not writing essays for the schools that fit you best, and that's the earlier part, that that introspection that helps you build the list, to me, that's the fun part.
Yeah, and it's just fun for students too, if they begin the process looking at it that way. So I love to work with students earlier in the process, because it's such a growth experience for them. They kind of, even parents too, they look at it as an end goal. I'm going to get into college. Right. And they don't really think about the journey of self-understanding, and think about what it is that they want to experience when they were in college. So that takes some introspection about what they are doing now and what differences they might want to have in the future, or what similarities. And it's really fun to see kids sort of like blossom and engage as they consider the different opportunities. Some don't even know what the difference is between a liberal arts education and an education they can get at a public university, or that they might be able to get a liberal arts education at a public university as well. So it's fun to kind of explore all these various options, and really to kind of broaden their horizons, help them open their minds a bit.
Yep. Fabulous. And you've actually just gone through this as a parent yourself. So
I have.
that's one of the things that, sometimes when I talk to people, they say, why can't I just do this myself? So having been, gone through it as a parent, but also as a professional, what would you say about
I would I would
don't do it?
one of the values of working with an outside advisor is that it provides this space. It opens up this buffer for the student to be able to be open to more opportunities or more ideas. Sometimes kids just have, and I even have it, and we as individuals often will have a automatic knee-jerk visceral response to being told what to do. And at this stage in their lives, kids often just have this response, no matter how good of advice it is. And sometimes just having a sit down with someone and talking to them about an idea that maybe your parents would have suggested, it provides an alternate viewpoint. And I have to say that even with my own daughter, we did a lot of the kind of the beginning research together, but there were certainly key points when I actually reached out to a colleague, and this person worked with my daughter throughout the process, is still working with her as we come to the decision-making process.
Wow.
Because I don't want my parental view to color her views too much. So it's so beneficial. It allows me to step back, and you can have more of a, you do need to be a parent in the process, but there's a time and a place. And that's actually one of my favorite pieces of advice when parents are working with students, even who do have college advisors, is, do have your catch-up meetings, touch base, whether it be once a week or, maybe not so often, a couple times a month. Pick a specific day, right? Designate that day as the college touch base day, and don't let it bleed into the rest of your life, that college creep, just
otherwise it's all we'll talk about.
Yeah.
All of senior year.
Exactly. Because then it just becomes too stressful. And that's the reason why you have a college advisor, is to kind of to take away that stress. There's a lot of reasons that stress come from the process. And, another one is just lack of understanding and lack of clarity of what all is involved. And so that's another thing that I like to be able to reassure families. We understand the process, and it's not like we have a crystal ball, but we understand some of the intricacies. And so by providing that kind of touchstone base, we can take a lot of the stress away.
Yeah. Those are great tips. I've found that the students I work with, the parents, and particularly the moms, are so grateful for the ability to continue to have a relationship with their child and not layer this really stressful college thing on top of it, for this extended period of time. And it sounds like you referenced the stress of the process, which can be so damaging to a teen and parent relationship. So it's great that that's your motivation.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Anything else people should know about working with you? Specialties you have, or special experience, or kinds of students that you really like to work with?
My specialty kind of is my strength, which is that I just really dig into whatever it is I'm working on. So when I'm working with a student, they pretty much become my sole purpose. I just focus. I'm kind of like a dog with a bone when I'm researching a particular issue or a range of schools, whatever it is. I love to dig into content and reach out to admissions officers. I'll pick up a phone and ask a question, whereas students often feel like we can talk to these people and it's easy to do. And in a non-COVID world, when students are typically at school, lots of times they aren't able to pick up the phone and make these calls when admissions officers are available. And that's what we can do that. We're at home working during the hours when students are typically in school. so we can be their advocates and ask the questions at those times.
Yep. I think that's also great information. And I can just say, having worked with Michelle, that thorough is her middle name. Um, you should not have any fear that there will be anything slipping through the cracks if your child works with Michelle. But that's also a really great tip. College admissions people really do love to have students reach out to them, and they are totally open to that, and you should not be afraid of that. But I would just add a little corollary to that. They are not interested in talking to parents, right? So if you're a parent, you should not be the one making these phone calls on your child's behalf. All of that is great, and I think we've given people a little feel for what it would be like to work with you, and hope this has been really helpful. And thanks, Michelle, for joining me today.
Thank you.